Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to cut through the BS that I usually do, and we'll just continue on with one of my multitude of works in progress. Yes. Happy Wednesday, am I right? All right. Oh, yeah, this pen is kind of not the best of friends right now, so I'm just trying to make some kind of rough background and scribbles just so I make it a little bit more gritty with the background. And yes, I tried to do the Apple Stein or mug or whatever from Disney that I received in the mail, but for some reason the shape itself is not very good looking. And when I saw the card that I was working on, it was like ugly. So I went and saw the original reference from the Disney movie, the Snow White Disney movie, and that one had a more rounded preferred shape for me. So I was like, oh, I like this one way more. And then I looked back at the old card. Oh shoot! So I might paint over that. Actually, I had to get another full-on card and did this one instead. And I like this one way more. It doesn't have that shimmery metallic look, but I'm not really that keen on that anyway, so it's not that big of a loss for me. So yes, and then I'm just doing like very rough scribbles just to have some kind of background. I'm not very good at background, so I just make everything up with scribbles. That's what I do, and I accept it, more or less. At least today I will. So yes, how are you guys? Sorry if I sound kind of weird. I every morning when I drop off my kid, we just walk. Okay, that's how close we are. But then at the same time, I try to take slightly longer distances. Well, not really, but like a little bit longer than my usual way back. And then I get tired and sweaty and it's gross. That's basically it. And so, yeah, I usually sound a lot more winded, even though it's like, what, an hour? Oh, it was like about an hour ago, but I'm still tired. Hello, age. I do not welcome you gracefully, but I have to put up with your ass. So yes. And so, I will try my best not to point out people leaving, coming and going in the stream. You know what I mean, right? I will behave because I actually have a whole bunch of works in progress and a itty bitty-ish haul per se with from the Salvation Army I went to yesterday, and another one at Goodwill. It was just one, but it's not bad. Well, it's way more affordable than going to the legit art stores and even the hardware stores, you know, because I think I could talk a little bit about going to thrift stores in general. I used to dread it. I used to not want to go to thrift stores. I did think that, it's kind of ew. And it, to some degree, it is, especially when there's some testimonies from employees or former employees from thrift stores that, like, people don't always wash their clothes. Even if it's not washed in a while, as long as it's, like, just stuffed away in a closet, I don't mind. And there's, like, no moths got at it. I am fine. But some people leave some interesting stains on certain articles of clothing. And that's where I draw the line of maybe I'm not going to buy any more clothes. But at the time as a kid, when I would go with my mom or my sisters or whatever, I was not very thrilled about going to the thrift town. But, you know, if you do start liking it, and I eventually did, originally for clothes and some hand-me-down toys for, like, they even had like cheap Sanrio Puffalump dolls there for like dirt cheap, $1.99, 99 cents. Maybe the top tier price per se is $7.99, and I had no problem with it. It was a lot of fun after a while. Now I'd find some interesting things, especially like cheap Christmas ornaments or cheap jackets and stuff. The only problem that I had really was I could not find clothes in my size that I liked. If I did see something cute, usually size 0, extra small, and probably a large per se is the medium. And there are also clothes that will say large and even extra large, but when I try to try them on, lo and behold, my linebacker shoulders decide to betray me and decide to, you know what, let's make sure your arms and shoulders don't go down when you try on that damn jacket you thought was cute. So it's like, Oh. And then when you see shoes, you got to be careful. You wouldn't know what men or women have athlete's foot. And I don't want to, I did buy a few shoes, but they're like boots. And I, of course, would not go in them barefoot. That's just nasty. And then it was interesting. But I still liked clothing from thrift stores once in a while. But then I think when it got more trendy, it wasn't just middle-aged old ladies and stuff. Middle-aged and old ladies, I mean. Then it became trendy, like, oh, I love thrifting. It's so vintage. It's so retro. And then they have all these, social media thingies about going to the what thrift store. And then it got, the local one I went to started getting trendy. And then it started to not feel the same. And then eventually it closed down. I was so pissed off. Like, they ran it to the ground. I was like, why did you do that? If you can't handle it, don't fucking take on such a load of whatever the heck you were doing. Because I don't know what the people who in charge did with the thrift town. They made it trendy and then it fucking shut down. Like, it's so distressing that I had to mess up my speech. My speech got slurred. I'm sorry, but it was that bad. And so, yeah, I was like, what the hell? So I also had to give up not wanting to, give up looking for clothes actively, just because I ain't going to really find my size, even though I'm not that big, I swear. And yes, I do swear. At the same time, though, the clothes there, it's like for the tiniest of the tiniest people, or you're tall and thin. That's basically it. Or you have a weird oblong trapezoid shape. Okay, fine. And then the one that are whatever I am, I don't see very well, or they're kind of messed up, or it's like, ew, what is that? Or what is that smell? I really don't like what's the smell game. I really don't. But I settled for finding craft supplies and craft materials, and that has been working well. However, I don't go there actively, like, oh, I go there once a week or even once a month. I go once every 6 to 8 months, if I remember. But then if I'm like, oh, maybe there's something there, like maybe let's cut it back to like 2 to 3 times a month. And then then I forget, or I'm preoccupied with life, and then next thing you know, 5 years pass. So that's pretty much my track record with doing the whole thrift shopping. I don't take it as seriously because I have like a whole bunch of stuff. Not to mention, I tend to hoard things more from Target, and I should not do that. But yeah, I miss doing thrift shops. If you get a good ass deal, you get a good ass deal. But then some people, the only other thing is, they don't have bunches of, so if you find something you really like and like, I want another one, you go back, you're not gonna find it. So okay, so this looks pretty cool on this side, so I will try to make it more consistent. Thankfully I did not use like a pure black, so it'll have more depth to it, I think, so that's good. I was like kind of concerned how this would look like because I have both black here and then I'm using black in the background. It just seems a bit redundant, or it's just going to melt away into the background. I don't know. So there's that. Yeah, later on, I will show you the kinds of print canvases that I got from Salvation Army, or even the one print canvas I got from Goodwill. Like, I wasn't even planning to go there. I was like, oh, I got extra time. I might as well go here. And so I went. And then, oh, right. I also painted a skull. Do I have it? Give me a tiny itty bitty second. I do have it. Yes. Yay. Okay. So, just a brief break from this. So, this is what I'm working. So, I got these colors. I liked them so much. I wanted them to hold in my hand, and so I did. And then the colors in the back, not so great, but I do like what's going on here. This still needs work, but other than that, it's a lot of fun. I did make some marks of the highlights that I want to blend in. I'll try to blend it in, or maybe have some kind of paint stroke sort of thing going on. I don't know yet, but right now the blended neon or bright colored rainbow, I am having a lot of fun with, but I am slowly taking my time. Around there, I get kind of irritated because I try to crank things out as fast as I can because I only work in short bursts. That's why if you see me on these live streams, I don't do everything and complete them. I work on everything all at the same time, or not all at the same time, but like I have several things going on, as you can see on my tiny display. It's it sounds haphazard, it sounds crazy, and it is. I don't recommend it, but if you can, and that's the hand you're dealt with, and you can work with it, go on ahead. I ain't gonna stop you. Because like soon after this, I'm gonna show a little bit of what I do with needle felting. I already have things done, thankfully. Like, oh, they're so cute. This one. And this one had some crap on the face. I don't know what it was. It wasn't like literal crap. It was like some weird stuff on the face. I managed to cut it off with some scissors, and then I noticed some areas were kind of uneven, so I'm gonna just sculpt it with this felting needle thing. I had better ones, but I misplaced them. But I will at least try to sculpt them out a little bit better so it's a lot more even. And one of the things you should do is to make sure you rotate it around as you're stabbing, so you see that how the shape is developing, because sometimes you only stick to one area and then one side starts getting more lopsided than the other. And so I have to keep rotating around to make sure, okay, it's pretty even. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as it's even enough, it's okay. Unless, you know, you're doing a paid commission sort of thing. That's a whole other story. I have a lot more pressure when that's involved. But for the most part, when it's me, I'm not that particular. I'm not too restrictive about the shape. But then, yeah, with other people, and they want to request, I try to make it as clean and nice as possible as I can, which is hard when you're making handmade things, unless you're a super, super professional, unlike me. And yes, okay, so I'm wrapping things up here. Not bad for 11 minutes. Why this year? I noticed this year was not the best year for me. I don't want to talk into a lot of that stuff because it's really sad. It's really messed up. So just this year was not the best of times, let's just say. And if you're the kind of people that go, well, I had a worse time, please don't do that. That's just messed up, okay? Just say, I'm sorry that happened, and then carry on your merry way. That's fine. Just this year was not the best of times, and I even had a health scare. But it's pretty good now, for now, and so I just try to move on from there and just do what I can and distract myself with this kind of stuff. Oh, this looks pretty cool, actually. Not bad. Okay, so I'm going to, after I wrap things up here, I will take a tiny break. And I will get on with the, how much is it? 15 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to lose my likes on that. I have to, I hate doing editing because then I can't keep the other one. Freaking lame, man. Then I even promoted it on Insta, and then, oh, guess what? Your place is gross. It's like, oh. So this is what happens in my mind when something embarrassing and annoying happens, especially if it's right in front of people or live at least. My mind just goes into a whirlwind of embarrassment. Oh. And then I get distracted and then move on with my life. That's basically it. But I think with internet, it kind of makes things at least 5,000 times worse somehow, especially for introverts. And so, But thankfully, when I look online for bug killers, I feel like I'm not the only one. And then not to mention, there are videos or reels of people with way more devastating infestations. Oh my God. I was like, what? How did it get that bad? And then you see some parts of the house. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But there are some places that look absolutely clean. And then you see bugs still. I was like, oh my God. But then you can't really count on people that hard. I try not to anyway, especially with this place. Shit. Well, it is a whole, I almost said hold. It is an old house, so it is what it is. Yeah, the thing about here, where I'm at, there's this thing. I only know this because my husband's an architect. And so he mentions that the city has like a kind of code called the Culture Preservation Code. Not code, but like a law. And so they try to preserve the condition and the building structure of these houses. So they're quite old. And so while people like vintage and old stuff, a lot of the things may not be up to date with the code. So you have to update the inside or the interiors of the house and all the technical stuff. But to do renovations and to change it, you have to go to city and county buildings to get that requested and confirmed officially. And they cause so much trouble. Oh, so much trouble. I don't want to get started, but it ain't pretty. So I'm pretty sure some people may not do that. I'm not, I'm not tattletaling, but I'm just saying, because it causes so much BS and so much drama and headaches, there is a high chance or a high probability of people just skipping that part and just doing the renovations. And technically, you can do that, but if you want to sell the house, get ready for even more headaches. Yeah, that's fun. Okay, so, that's pretty good. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, so I'm going to take a break from there, and then you can go take a nap. So these guys. So I used to do needle felting for a time, and that fucking bug, I'm going to... I mean, I already did, but geez. I used to do needle felting for, I think when it was kind of big on YouTube, and it seemed fun, and I'm supposed to have that styrofoam mat thing. I don't feel like doing it. And there are some little testimonies from some of the YouTubers that did crafts or cute things or whatever, that you will get stabbed by the needle. And yes, I have. And it hurts. It freaking hurts. Okay, so if you don't like getting stabbed by needles by accident, and it will not be like you jam it all the way so it goes through your finger. No, it's not that extreme unless you're really intense with needle felting. You can use like a finger guard. Like they had like a leather finger guard for like, I think these two fingers particularly, but I tried it. It feels really uncomfortable. So I don't really use those finger guards. If I'm not that squeamish, I am kind of used to it, but I also don't like getting stabbed. I mean, who likes getting stabbed with needles? Not me, but, so to some degree, if you're near your fingers, you kind of have to be careful. I'm not going to do all of this. I'm just showing what I do to get the kind of shape. And there are some little nubbies here. Should I take them out? I can take them out. Okay, so I did not have that strong of a grip on these two. So, okay, maybe this one is quite strong. Okay. So if you want to fix things, you can rip things out and try to build up more to adjust the shape, to sculpt it with needle felting. And it's pretty boring. It is, because you're just doing this the whole time. But if you are just, and the other thing is you cannot be fully distracted. Like you can't be doing this while watching a movie. You can't do this while watching something on YouTube, because if you're not careful, and I've done this myself, I will stab myself in the finger and it really hurts. Okay, so be very, very careful. Probably some kind of audio book if you're into that, or you have those YouTube things where you don't even bother watching the thing. You can actually listen to it. So listening to things while you're doing this I think is fine, unless you still get distracted and then you stab yourself. So hopefully I won't stab myself live. Probably. I don't know. Taking a risk out here for you guys. I'm just kidding. Not really. So I just try to build the shape that I want, and it is a sleeping Zashiki Buddha. I may try to fix the eyelids also, but I stored away most of my wool because I was not working on needle felting for a long while. So I stored them in a box and shoved them up in the closet. Then, guess what? I feel like working on needle felting, and oh boy, I had to go dig out my closet. But I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. So these are not going to be like on the forefront of, the top priority projects, just because I thought I liked them, but then I looked back. Well, this one's really cute actually, but I am not as motivated for needle felting as I used to. And when I got ambitious with them, I would make clothes for some of these little needle felted dolls, and they were really cute. But yeah, I'm not a seamstress. I'm not even good at mending things well. I can mend them, but it won't look pretty. But I can still mend things by hand, more or less. But when it comes to having fancy clothes, I don't have a sewing machine. Sewing machines terrify me. I know they're intimidating, and once you get used to it, but my God, it freaks me out. Because I'm not, funny enough, despite me working with my hands a lot, I'm not the most careful like I mentioned, I've stabbed myself in the fingers with this needle. So I also don't want a machine involved working with this. So as you can see, the fibers of the felted wool, it's slowly coming together, bulking up, developing its shape. Like, it'll be legs, I swear, but it looks like a butt crack. But yeah, some areas that might seem like, oh, I think I stabbed too much, but it's still kind of fluffy here. You kind of adjust it a little more. You don't have to go too fast. They also have those handles for needles. Like you have like a 3-prong needle. I think there was one with like maybe 5 or 8 prongs. It's to get this done a lot faster. I think they should have one where it does it with a machine, like as a machine, but yeah, that probably will cost more money. But yeah, I don't mind this. And then if you have a single needle, you just have it for specific details. But since I don't have I do have the multiple prong needles, but it doesn't really do much for me. I'm fine with a single one, or even a double one is fine. And then that's it. I'm not too hell-bent on trying to get this super done. So yeah, like kind of like this. Yeah, not bad. And then if you still see the threads, I don't know if you can tell, like, yeah, here, like, see, they have like these little thingies coming out. I worked on this part earlier. So, yeah, I think this area is a little bit difficult to work with, because as you stab these felting needles, the more you do so, it becomes more dense, and then you will not be able to go all the way like before. So what people usually do is take some scissors. I don't have the fancy kind, I just have these little ones, and then you just trim the ends so it looks a little bit more clean and not as scraggly and unkempt. But it may take a while, and again, it's super tedious. That was another reason why I got really bored. So some people may not like this kind of thing unless you have extra time on your hands. And I kind of do, and yet I don't at the same time, because while I do stay at home, I also have to do errands. I also have to take care and clean up things. I have to. So yeah. But just goes to show, you can clean this up, but it takes a bit of patience and not tearing out your hair to do it. And so yeah, so it still looks messy, but there's less mess involved. So yeah. Okay, so this one, that was just the demonstration. This one is for, I'm just going to sculpt a little bit of the areas, because if you keep looking around, you may see like there's some slight imperfections here. But I'm a little bit more lenient on myself because I'm not giving it away. But like around here, it starts looking a little bit questionable. So I can start around here, I guess. So I think with my background in drawing, it helps me allow more precision in crafts. So I think that is a major plus for me, because I can incorporate a little bit more attention to detail when I do crafts. But some people, they want it simplified. Like, I want simple things. I want simple. And then they do it, and they get a lot of views and popularity. And I don't I can do simple, but I get bored, and I like details. So that's just me being me. I enjoy little details here and there. And yet I feel like not a lot of people like that, or I don't know. It's just sometimes people don't always like the stuff that I do, even though I like it fine. But that's another thing. A lot of the things I do, not a lot of people like. Only like my friends may like it, or they're like, oh, that's nice. And then they just, that's about it. It's like very like a passing sort of happenstance, not something like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Only a few people have that feeling with my work, and I appreciate that to the utmost. But I think in today's social media, where everyone is a prodigy, everyone does perfect art, it's really hard to compete out there. It's really difficult to be well known when you have algorithms and your own methods and your hangups get in the way of slowly growing your channel, growing your accounts on Instagram or wherever the hell you are. And it is frustrating. So I get the plight. I'm sorry if I said, like, I think a while ago I mentioned like people were whining and complaining, and they are, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Just tone it down a bit when it's your only identity, okay? Because then there will be questions. And so, yeah, for me, of course I whined about this sort of thing where, like, how come I only have 200 something and I don't even get 10 likes? And then the ones that do even reach past 10 likes, it's like the most random half-assed thing I've made out of shits and giggles, basically. But then when I actually work hard on things, people don't give a shit. So I'm like, what do you want from me? You know? But then ultimately, I kind of have to like force myself to stop thinking that far and just enjoy what I'm doing. I think ultimately, as long as I like what I'm doing, I think that's what matters the most. And so I try my best not to be down on such things, even though it is tempting, even though there are people with a similar plight, a similar situation. But then they mention, I have 10,000 subscribers. I lost 2,000, but I gained back 4,000 later on when I did this trick. I'm like, oh my God. And then I have to just, like, that's enough internet for today. And then I just go on Reels and just, you know, the doom scroll of doom and all that stuff. Do people still use doom? I don't know. Okay, so this around here, this is more flat than this side. So I gotta somehow flatten this area a little more. So that's what I mean earlier. Like, you have to keep rotating around to make sure the shape is pretty accurate, because sometimes, like here, see, it's not even. And it's okay to have that. It happens. Depth of perception gets kind of wonky when you have to stick to one side. So you always have to rotate around to make sure it is more accurate enough that it's not lopsided. But there are some needle felted artists I'm so jealous. Like, they can make realistic dogs and cats, and they make some for people who have like deceased pets, and they like, it's really lifelike. It's friggin' crazy and amazing. I wish I was that good, but I think they take a lot more time, precision, and efforts, and better quality materials. I'll let that slide in that aspect. And so it looks so freaking cool. I wish I could do that, but then I have a short attention span, so I don't think I can achieve that. I mean, I can. It's just I will get really it takes a while, and I have to like buckle down and not do anything else. I cannot do multitasking works in progress like in what is it? Like my usual live streams. I have to be very careful and very precise, especially if it's paid work. Okay. And so I think I got this shape idea from those Ufufi. Was it Ufufi? Might have, maybe a little bit, not too much. And also I think one Instagram account where they make a whole bunch of these needle felted cute little animals. I think it's like Coco's Cafe or something like that. I forgot their name. I'm sorry, but they are so talented. And I think it's like a group of people, not just one person. And so they like mass produce a whole bunch of these cute little critters, and they fit these guys in little cupcake paper cup things. It's so freaking cute. And they have like a little plastic dome to cover them so it doesn't get dusty. Freakishly adorable. I love it. But I haven't been looking at their stuff lately. But also because I haven't been into needle felting. But I might look at their stuff again. It's hella cute. And yes, I still use hella, but it's kind of a force of habit sometimes when I get excited. not so much, oh, this is my hella speech every day. Like, no, don't do that. I think some people, like, when they, I was watching a long play, like, what is it? Life is Strange, where there was like this annoying girl who tries to talk like her friend who's been to LA, and they say hella. I was like, do they say hella in LA? Because I don't think they say it down there. I know they say it in Bay Area, some parts of Bay Area. I know I do sometimes. And there's a fruit fly. What the heck? But I thought it was so weird and cringe when I see in video games they use slang like hella. It's like, and they say it so weird. It doesn't sound natural coming out of them. It's like, you don't have to say that. You'd say something else, not that one. But they pick hella. It's like, do they say that in LA? I haven't been there long enough to confirm that. I don't think they do. Unless they do, let me know. But I don't know. It's just, yeah, it just comes out by accident rather than this is my speech where I say hella in every other sentence. No, it's not like that. This fruit fly is pissing me off. Like, why are the bugs coming out? It's pissing me off. That's what happens when you try to eat fruit. You try to be healthy and bugs just like, guess what? Free meal. Like, ugh, freaking annoying. Okay, so I did what I could. The shape is still kind of lopsided. And it's kind of annoying. But I want it to have cheeks, but I don't want it too flat. Okay, so still lopsided, but it's a lot better than what it used to be. So this is what it looks like. Oh my god, it's cute. I think this hood, I based it off my Melody, but I wanted him to have one too. Let him be cute. He wants to be cute, damn it. And so he has like a roundish, rotund shape. This is still kind of wonky, but I'll fix this later. Like I mentioned, this is just like a demonstration of what kinds of things I can do besides the card arts and the painting. I used to be so into crafts when I had my dry spell of doing drawings. And oh my God, come on, let's work. Please work. Work for this guy, please. Please. I beg of you. Thank you. Okay, so other things I can do. I was gonna do a new drawing, but maybe not. I can do a slight haul, but also I can show what kinds of things I do for Halloween. And I have a question because I'm stumped as all hell. So I would paint on pumpkins. Do I have a pumpkin on here? I thought I had. Oh no, I think it's on my bed. I'm too lazy to get up this time. So you fuck. Okay, so I would paint on pumpkins, craft pumpkins. So did I show this? I forgot. So I would paint on these big boys here, and you can carve into these, but because I don't have a hot knife / soldering iron, whatever you use, I would just paint on these things. I did this like 2 years ago and into this year. I mean, last year, but I didn't do much for last year's Halloween, I think. Or I did and I forgot. So this is what happened. Same size. So here's this thing. I can't raise it up to here. So I forgot the guy's name who I did fan art for. I know his last name is Munford, maybe Dan Munford, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I drew all of this onto a pumpkin, drew and painted, and it is quite insane. But I was making stuff up. This is not the best. I could do more, but I was getting tired. And then, yes, it just goes up to here, and this looks questionable, but let's not think too hard. And then what I didn't like about this is there's an empty space. I tried to surround the entire pumpkin with art, but my brain farted and I ran out. And yes, I finished this. When did I finish this? I think in January 2023. But I didn't have like an actual date. But yeah, this is a lot of fun to do for me. It's quite intense. I don't know if I can do the same thing or similar this time around. Maybe. But I also don't want to put this outside on my front porch because I don't want people swiping it like, oh, free art, and then yoink, and they take it and run off into the afternoon. I will be so pissed off as all hell. I just think this was so cool to make. And I tweaked a few things, but I barely did any changes except around here where I added weird tendril things. And yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I like to do this kind of stuff for fun. And I also do cute little things, and I feel like that's why the algorithm does not like my content, because I do too many things and the algorithm has brain diarrhea and decides to not showcase my work because I'm not consistent on one genre or one kind of theme. I do different things. And I think it's good for your brain, in my opinion, because doing the same thing over and over just makes me really tired and bored. And I had that for several years with only drawing. So while I still draw, I still use painting and I use crafts. So I combined a multitude of things and made this sucker here. So my dilemma is I don't know what to do this time around. I'm still looking for ideas, but sometimes it just does not work out. So if you have any ideas as to what the heck I do with this, with these big boys here, let me see if I could fit them on because this camera today is not my day, but it's fine. Okay, so yeah, it's like big booties, but with pumpkins. So yeah, just to compare and contrast what the heck I'm doing here. So this is before, this is probably after. And I have more than one of these. I think in my shorts, I do have a small brief showcase of the different kinds of pumpkins I have. And do I recommend this kind of work for you guys? I mean, hey, go ahead, but you don't have to go crazy in depth with the detail. Because this is just me. I love details. I love making this weird sci-fi crazy stuff, but you do not have to go all out. Just do whatever the heck you want within your capabilities. You can do landscapes, the beach, cute things, the Petrick. By all means, go on ahead. I think it's a lot of fun to do just because I like this kind of stuff. But just bear in mind that you may have to try to clean it because, yeah, this is the bottom. It's not the best, but it's definitely a lot of fun to do. And especially if you keep at it and if you make mistakes, I'm pretty sure I made at least 50 mistakes on this sucker. You can hide it with acrylic paint. Just try not to give yourself too many mistakes, or it starts clumping up. And yes, I am definitely ready for Halloween, but at the same time, I am stumped as to what to do. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments, chat, whatever you like, or even on Instagram is fine too. So yeah, thank you. Okay. Should I show more? Maybe next time I'll show like one pumpkin a week, just so I don't always show everything all at once. So yeah, my canvas hoard. Feel free to fall asleep if you like. So I got this from Goodwill the other day. It is a very long print canvas of the beach. Very long. Oh my God. And I don't know what to do with this one. I actually like the beach scenery, so I might actually just paint over a beach, but I might tweak the colors a lot just because upon closer inspection, yes, they have like scratches, and I can definitely paint over it now. And so yes, I like to get these things and try to paint over. Oh, this bitch is heavy. So people don't like word art nowadays. I am amongst those people, but the other thing is you can turn these into paintings for dirt cheap. Like this is $1.99 for bric-a-brac. Like, what is that? Coffee keeps me going until it's time. I don't drink either. But like, I don't care for word art. I don't even care for these things. And so what better way to solve this problem of not liking this than to paint over it? So stick around for that. I don't know what to paint on this either. The other one, I have 2 canvas panels for $3.99. Pretty basic standard stuff. Nothing special until I get to the last one here. This one cost me $7.99, and it's a furniture picture, and it is Frozen. I don't care for Frozen, unfortunately. I did watch it. I watched both of them, and I no care. It's too much for me, and so yeah, I will paint over this family forever until I paint over it. And I think I smell something. It smells like Salvation Army. So yeah, that's another thing about getting things from used places. There may be a smell, and so I don't like smells. Yeah, I will definitely paint over that and the beach scenery. And it's just I need an idea and to make sure I stick with it, because while I do have ideas, sometimes they don't always pan out, and then I get really lazy and don't want to work on it for a few months, if not years at a time. and it's annoying and I hate it. So I try not to be like that, but human nature is human nature and it cannot be helped. So last but not least, I'll just try to work on one last, what is it? Work in progress. I swear I can talk. So I will work on Idea from Final Fantasy VIII. I forgot why I forgot why I saw this. I think I was just looking up reference photos on what? Pinterest? I forgot what the color this was. I saw some pictures of Adea. I forgot what, and I thought it was kind of cool looking. Oh, no, wait. It was my old fan art. That's why. I had old fan art. I can show that. Ugh. I have old fan art here. I submitted this long ago to some random gaming magazine because they also displayed art from fans and stuff. I submitted this to that freaking magazine. I forgot the name of the place. I'm sorry. They never showed it. I was pissed. But I never got like a legit good copy. It was just like a really shitty photo print. No, just a printer paper copy. This is awful. Did I write it? Oh, this is in 2001. Holy crap. Ew. And so, yuck. And then this was not too bad. It needs work, but considering how old I was, how old even was I? Forgot. It was not bad, and I think my name was there, but oh well. And then, will this work? I did not ever see my work on that magazine, and a bunch of jerks. I think it's just an excuse for them to get free art, you bums. So I was kind of miffed about that. And then I forgot. For many years, I forgot until I was looking through old work in my closet, and then I saw that, and I was like, hey, they never showed my art online, or not online, on the magazine. So I was like, all my Rage Hall came back. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, oh. That was kind of interesting, though, remember? So I was like, oh, maybe I should. I thought she was all right, so I kind of just tried to paint her a little. Oh, this isn't working. I thought this would be a thing, but maybe not. Yeah, even though I don't finish anything online, I do them off camera way faster. Because every time I'm on Livestream, I am always nervous. Because anything bad can happen, and then I look like a moron, or I look unkempt, and why is there a hair on here? And it's like embarrassment after embarrassment. Freaking Wednesday. Now I'm debating whether or not I should remove some clips off the earlier. If you saw, you saw. I can't help that. But at the same time, though, it is a good learning process. Thankfully, not a lot of people watch this, so it's maybe I can just leave it there and should be fine. Because once I do an edit, I have to repost it totally new, and it's kind of annoying, and I don't like it, but it is what it is. Oh, maybe I could do this. This is too dark. I need a lighter. Oh, maybe this one. Gosh. Yeah, I'm not very good with this. Okay, 46 minutes. I could try to at least do a background of some sort. I think originally it was... Wait, do I have purple? Where is the purple? Where are you? Okay. No. Goodness gracious, on a cracker. Okay. All right. I'll just use this one for now. It's not what I want, but that's what I got. Okay, it's not working out. And then if I do it too dark, it gets too muddy, so it's kind of annoying. The original reference has yellow highlights, but I don't feel like doing it. So yeah, I used to play Final Fantasy VII long ago, and I used to think it was the coolest thing ever. Well, of course, I played Final Fantasy VII. Sorry, I hit my face on the thing. Of course, I did play Final Fantasy VII, loved it, and I thought it would be good. I think I remember selling my Final Fantasy VIII for like $5 or so. I kind of regret that. I think I liked it, then hated it, and then I sold it for like $5. Now I'm like, why the hell did I do that? So yeah, that's kind of stupid. But at most, I'm not really keen on wanting to play the games. You can watch long plays on YouTube. That's totally fine. Or watch people play the game and complain about why this is a horrible, horrible game. There's a whole bunch of people like that. And then they take it back when they find out the other Final Fantasies get worse and progressively worse. And what the hell's going on here? And then I don't know how people can just keep bitching about something for that long. But they find a way, and there's still an audience for that, and so they do. So what do I know? They're doing something right, I guess. And yeah. Let's see. How many Final Fantasies are there? I stopped, I think 15 or 14 were the last two I remember. Is there a 16? I think there's a 16 or 17. I haven't been paying attention. Why do I keep hitting my glasses? I think the last one I played was Final Fantasy X2. That doesn't make sense. Wouldn't that be 12? Like, who writes these names? It gets stupider and stupider. And then I did play 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 10 too, and then I gave up. And then Kingdom Hearts happened. And then I got stuck on Kingdom Hearts 3. My God, they took forever to release that one. But around then, my kid was really little, so he always wanted attention, so I could not ever finish it. It's not his fault. It's just I picked the wrong time to try to play that game. And then I got stuck in the Pirates of the Caribbean during the boss fight. Like, oh my God. Why do they involve fighting with ships? That was the dumbest thing I ever saw. I kept dying. Then I gave up. Anything else I can talk about? Salvation Armies, Halloween thing, abandoned projects, fallen. Okay, so. Oh, I also recently, well, that's not really related to here, but I have been making some paid commissions. Not some, more like 2. And the other one, that's fine. I'm not in a big rush. Like, I need this now. But then when I see progress, you can't help but think, ooh, I can't wait. So there was one I have, but I haven't heard anything from them yet, which is okay. Like I said, I'm not in a hurry. I'm pretty laid back about, unless there's like something wrong, or they have something with their materials went wrong or went haywire, or there's like an emergency, like a health issue. I will not pressure you. I'm not like, I need this now, like I need it for like a wedding or something. Don't do that. Unless you can, then okay, it depends. But I am looking forward to this other one. I saw progress for the other one that I paid for recently, and it looks so funny. I will not tell what it is, but maybe I'll make a promo for it once I receive it in the mail. I may do like a reel both on Instagram and on Reels. I got to promo this guy's work. He's friggin' amazing. I am jealous, and in a good way. Of course, I know of the negative connotations of being jealous, but for me, it's more like it doesn't have to be negative. It's be like, oh, that's so cool. I wish I could do that. And then just be jealous. And then, yeah, that's it. It's okay. I just think what he does is so cool. And I've always admired his work for many, 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 many years. I think since we were in our 20s. And so I just wanted to help support his work and all that cool stuff. And it's a fun time. I like it. I want to do more. I think there's another one I saw. I think I actually suggested to that person, like, oh, that would definitely be a great t-shirt. And they made t-shirts. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should buy. So I might think about buying. Like, I try to support my artist friends because they are well-deserved and they're super talented and creative and all that cool stuff. So I want to help them out in whatever way I can. When I can, because life ain't exactly the easiest nowadays, but it could be a lot worse. Is that kind of it? Maybe I need a lighter. I don't know. It's kind of, I'm not feeling this color, whatever this color is. But yeah, I am looking forward to those commissions that I requested because I had a lot of fun looking at the progress, especially. What is that? Oh, it's that thing around her neck. I'm gonna have to fix it later. I forgot that there's some. I know she has something on her back, but I think in the cinematic movie they did not include it, or it was just not well drawn, or I don't know what they did, but I didn't notice it in the reference. Or maybe I should just put yellow and just, but I have to wait for it to dry because this is not the look I want, unfortunately. I should just stay to the yellow, but oh well, this is what happens when you try something new. Okay, yeah, and then, like I mentioned before, when I wait for something or some area to dry, I will do another project at the same time. I can't just like wait for this to dry patiently. And no, I can't do that. I have to work on other things, or I get really lazy easily, and I hate doing that. I know her skin has some tinge of pink, but not by much. Well, at least I got some work done a little bit. That's good. Usually, now recently I've been doing other art things besides card arts. And so it's been a long while since I resumed this one, maybe like almost a week. That's pretty bad. I can usually crank out 2 cards a day if I'm really that diligent. But then recently I think I was burnt out, so I wanted to do something else before I totally, this freaking bug. Stop being stupid. So I try to multitask to keep my brain motivated to still make more art despite finding some burnout. Because when I start getting burnt out, I start panicking a little bit, because when I get burnt out, I get lazy and then I don't feel like doing it. And then next thing you know, and it has happened before, next thing you know, several months pass. A year or 2 will pass if I don't stay on top of this motivation to keep drawing. So it not so much forces me, but it kind of pushes me more to keep working on art in other means, not just sticking to one thing. Because I know, like, online they keep, especially for artists, they always say, like, you need to do one thing and just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And I've seen those documentaries, and I guess, but I know me. I'll get bored. I don't want to do anymore. I will quit. And so I can't do that to myself. So I like making different things. I like surprising people, because I think sometimes people don't really think of me as much, or they think of negative. I don't know why. It's like, you can be a jerk elsewhere. What did I do to you? I didn't do anything to you. And then, yeah, and then when it turns out, oh, she does like this, she does that, she make that weird pumpkin, like, then yeah, it's like, yeah. And then they ask me, how do you do that? I just draw it. That's all I can say. So yeah. Like, while there is some talent, you also have to like what you're doing, and you have to keep doing it. I feel like if you just stop even a little bit, or you can take a break, nothing wrong with that. But then when you're feeling like you don't feel like doing it, that's a bit of a warning that you may start getting lazy. Well, I don't know about other people, but it happens to me when I start like, I've been doing this too long, I'm starting to get bored. I got to do something else, or I'm not going to want to draw anymore. So that's kind of my mindset when I start getting a little bit burnt out or running out of ideas. I do once in a while ask other people for ideas, but I also don't want to impose and make them feel pressure to give me ideas, or else, So I try to just lightly say, oh, if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know. I'm more than happy to try to do them. But that's if I remember or write them down, or I like the idea. It really depends. Sometimes I like the idea and then I forget. I'm sorry. So sorry. I need to not do that. And then other times I may not like the idea, but I do like I will keep it in the back of my mind. Like, I may not like the idea now, but there may be a time where it will apply a lot better. Not at this time right now. It's, I don't know. It's confusing, but once it starts clicking, then it makes more sense. Like those canvas paintings, I don't know what to do with them, but once I figure it out, it should be fine in theory. Oh God, this looks ugly. Oh, I did go back to that vintage Sanrio place last Sunday. I wasn't feeling well on Saturday, so I couldn't go there, but I went on Sunday, even though I was still not in the best of health, but I was like, I have to go, because they only open once a month. 2 days once a month. It's like, that's such an odd schedule, but it does get a little bit packed. So I was like, okay, I got to go on Sunday, which I did. I did not buy as much, but yeah, I'm that person who starts hoarding Sanrio. But of course, I don't blindly buy them all. I check the prices, and they're still expensive, but it's a lot better than going on eBay or going on Etsy sometimes, because it does get really expensive. Oh gosh, this isn't looking good. What's going on here? Maybe this one. A little bit, I don't know, because I need a darker shade and this is not working well. Okay, she looks bloody. All right, good to know. Do I have brown? Brown. I command you to show up. Okay, thank you. I was just kidding. Okay. And it fell. Lovely. Okay, so let's dab a little bit here. Still ugly, but let's figure something out. Oh, God. I am trying my best. I should mix the paint, but sometimes I don't feel like I want to. And then this ugliness happens and I have to fix it somehow. So this happens a lot to me, and welcome. Oh, I think I saw on Threads a while ago, like something that irks artists sometimes, like what irks, like what can you not stand as an artist or some other. And then some of them mention unsolicited advice. I think you have to kind of say it depends on what kind of unsolicited advice you're talking about, because when you post your stuff online, you're going to get unsolicited advice, whether you like it or not. So I think they need to be more specific as to what they mean, because there can be stuff like, oh, this is pretty nice, but I would like it if it would have been really nice if you add this instead, or if you tweak the little thing, or you fix the eye shape or the eye levels. It should be, something like that. I don't mind. And they also do art. I don't mind. What I don't like are people who don't even draw, and then they think it's fun to give me weird advice that has it doesn't really serve its purpose, or it's not really going to help me very much. Because even if it looks messy in the works in progress, I will still fix it. But some people, they don't like that they call it graphite pencils, but I just use mechanical pencils. It's just lead. Why? And then they think I should use better quality blah, blah, blahs. And you don't need that. No, you don't. You can. And I think if you're like a professional artist and you need that stuff, okay, fine. But for me, I don't need that stuff. And so, sometimes the unsolicited advice is unnecessary advice, and I think you're kind of wasting both your time and my time, and then I get kind of annoyed. So and you don't even draw, so it's like, who are you? So that's the only time I will be kind of miffed about the kind of unsolicited advice I would receive. But then if it's unsolicited but it's actually useful and I agree with you, then yes, I welcome that with open arms. No problem with that. I just don't like people who don't even draw, and then they think they know a lot to give me advice, and they're super, super young. It's like, let me see your work first, then I'll see whether or not you can give me advice. Kind of like that. Oh, gosh. And then I also don't like where some people They say, oh, I'm an NFT art collector and I see your work and we can work together. Like, oh my God, it's a freaking scam. I almost thought it was a real person when I first heard that, because I didn't see those reels about people who try to scam artists to have a commission, and it's from an NFT collector. And what I did with this person who first asked me about that, I went on his friends list to see what kind of people he watches. You know what he watches? Porn. Yeah. You see the thumbnail and it's very graphic, disgusting things. This was a much older looking guy in theory, but it may not be even his picture, but the kinds of things he was following, it was very, very graphic stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do business with you. And so I just left it alone. I don't engage anymore. Once I find out something, okay, this person is a weirdo, get away from me, and then I just stay away. And if you were like, oh, you don't like people who like, no, it's not like that. It's like, that's all this person had. It's like, what the hell? What do you want? And I don't even want to imagine what kind of request this supposed interested collector wants me to do. And so I don't even do that kind of stuff on my account. So I don't know what the heck he was thinking, or if it was even thinking at all. So yeah, just be careful of such people that try to do things. Another kind of scammer I saw with a lady tried to DM me about wanting a commission of her entire family, and she already sent me a multitude of photos, and I looked at them and they seemed like normal people, and I was like, okay. And then they asked me where I lived. I told her. What did they call it? They ghosted. They totally dropped dead. They did not contact me back when I told her my location. And what the hell is that? It was hella weird. So yeah, that kind of crap irks the hell out of me. Like, don't waste my time. But thankfully, money was not involved. Like, I actually started on the project. They gave me half the money, and then they'll give me half later. It's that kind of deal. There was none of that, thankfully. But once I start noticing something weird between the exchange, like does not sound normal, I will totally not talk to you. I just don't want to deal with confrontation and, oh, you did blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't want to deal with that. Once I find out something weird about you and your account, I just get away from you. Okay. You can ghost me. I ghost back. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Other things that irk me as an artist, I'm trying to think. It's not so much me. I think the one I already mentioned is, like, I get lazy easily when I do art less. Like, once I'm like preoccupied with like in real life stuff, family stuff, hospital stuff, or whatever is going on, family, whatever's. And then when I get back to art, I'm already tired, but usually I can resume the next day refreshed and okay, well, more so kind of refreshed. And so I will carry on with my day and then do the art stuff, and then that's fine. But then if it's prolonged too long, I haven't been doing art for a long while, like I was on vacation, it's going to take a bit longer for me to get motivated, because I get really lazy easily if I don't do art long enough. That's why I'm always making art like a crazy person. So I'm still motivated to make more art. So that's I don't think that's healthy, but that's what I do, and it works. It works. It keeps me doing more art. Otherwise, if I don't feel like it, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So yes, that's a weird thing I have, but that's what I have been doing, and it eerily works. I don't know why, but it does. Because I can go on for years without drawing and not give a crap. At most, maybe like tiny sketch, but nothing like an actual painting or an actual freehand drawing sort of deal. So yeah, I try not to be like that. It's really disheartening. It's really disappointing that I can go for years without drawing, and so I try my best not to be like that. I guess unless I have no hands, maybe I can't. But there's people who draw with their feet, but I'm not that flexible with those appendages. No way in hell. So yeah, I don't know why my talks are like this, but yep, they are what they are. Okay, so this is what I have so far of Idea. It's not the best right now. So I still need to clean up, but it's okay. I'm not digging this background. I will try to see if I can find other colors to work with this, because I don't know, it just looks kind of bleh. Maybe I should go back to the yellow. I will think about it. I will do a little bit more research, but right now she already looks pretty good, though this thing kind of bothers me. The angle's not correct, but if it is what it is, it's fine because like I mentioned also a while ago, I do not seek out perfect art on this card project. This is more like a visual reminder for me to do larger projects in the near or far off future. And I can redo this on a larger scale. Just maybe I will clean it up a lot more, but this is more like a slightly rushed deal, and that's pretty okay for me. And it gives me an excuse to be a little bit more slack on the detail, on the cleanliness of the line art. So I like making excuses for myself. All right, so I'm going to see whether or not I should remove some parts where an uninvited guest showed up, or I just leave it there and see if people actually watch it and see what happens and hear the comments like, ew, you live in squalor. When not really. It's just some shit happens and I didn't even know we had bugs. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. What did I do so far for those of you who just showed up? So I did this. Well, I already had most of this done. Just I did some line-ish art. Oh, this looks pretty cool, actually. And then I let it dry for a bit, then resumed with these guys here. This was more, this guy has balls. Like I did this one more for a demonstration with what happens to the felted wool when it's loose and you try to use it to sculpt around the shape and all that stuff. It still needs work, but it's something. Not the best, but still something. This one was like near completion. Just I wanted to show what happens when you do not pay attention to a lot, if not all, of the surfaces of your needle felted doll. Some areas will definitely be lumpy, like, oh my gosh, this one still needs work. I need to find the correct color for this. I don't know, but I kind of have to. And then even you can see like this part looks more heavier than this side, and then this is a little bit chunkier than here, and they're not totally in the, it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect, just good enough for it so it's not super lumpy, bumpy, and awkward looking. So, but right now I'm liking this a lot. It's so cute. Look at it. Very, very cute. And then, did I put paint on it? No, I did not. Then I showed a few examples of my pumpkin art. Well, no, just one. This guy here, I just want to show again for those of you who are unaware that this is the kind of stuff I also do. I do different things and I embrace it because it keeps my brain interested and motivated to make more, if not similar work. And it's a lot of fun. And I'm probably nuts, but that's, again, I accept it. And then I show the kinds of canvases I can get for practically dirt cheap on thrift stores, but there are some downsides to it. Just bear in mind that there may be smells, there may be some scratches, but you can mask the scratches. That's not the problem. But for me, it's smells. I don't like smells. And so I also introduced very briefly the Petric. I thought it was Patrick, but this is from Gary's Mod. I did a small version originally from polymer clay, but this one was air dry clay. This one was very smelly. The clay itself was, I don't like. I just get DAS clay, the DAS clay. This one was some kind of premium clay from Italy. I'm so sorry, Italy. But then there was a weird smell, and it permeates through this bag. I'm sorry I didn't show this, but this bag, I can, it's it's a very strong smell. Even if it dries out, there's still a smell if you stick your face to it. So, air dry clay is fine. Just try to find one that does not have much of the smell. Polymer clay is okay. Just when you get too big, sometimes there are cracks. I've tried to hide the crack, but then there's like small paint cracks and it's kind of ugly. But yeah, I have been dabbling in crafts right now and it's okay. Then I finally buckled down to this one card here of Adea from Final Fantasy 8. It is 8. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's been quite hectic, but I did get several things done. Not bad. they're not done, but I'm getting something started, so that's good. So that'll be it for now. Sorry for those who just dropped in and was wondering what the heck's going on. I've been like all over the place, distracted by fruit flies and the unwanted guest that shall not be named. And thank you for having me. I will see you again whenever I'm just kidding, not whenever I feel like it. Next Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Delion. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.